You ever get that feeling where every day kind of blurs into the next? Where life is fine on paper, but something in your gut just whispers, this isn't it. Yeah, we know that feeling. In fact, we lived it for years until something finally broke through and we changed everything. Here's a stat. Over 50% of people over 50 say they regret not taking more risks in life. And when I read that, I thought, yep, that's exactly where we were headed. So today, I want to talk to you, not just about how we changed our life, but why we had to. These are 7 signs that told us we were stuck. And maybe, if you see yourself in any of them, it's time for something new as well. I'm not here to tell you to sell everything and move across the world tomorrow. I'm going to tell you what we did and how it led us here, to this little island called Madeira, Portugal, where our life finally started to feel like ours again. Sign number 1. You keep saying, one day. One day we'll travel. One day we'll downsize. One day we'll slow down and just enjoy life. Sound familiar? We spent years saying one day, but you know what? We never circled a date on the calendar. That one day just drifted further and further out. Until one morning, Leslie looked at me and said, what if we just go? No big plan, just a scouting trip. We booked 2 tickets. No expectations, just curiosity. That's how we found ourselves in Madeira. And that little yes, that tiny yes, turned into a whole new chapter. Sign number 2. You wake up tired, even after sleeping. Now look, I'm in my 60s, and I know what regular tired feels like. But this was another kind of tired. We were sleeping, sure, but we'd wake up already drained. Nothing sounded fun. Everything felt like a chore. And the worst part, we just thought that was normal. And then one day on that trip, we hiked one of those levadas, just a few miles. Trees on both sides, water trickling next to us, the sun coming through the branches. At some point, I looked around and thought, this is the first time I've truly felt awake in months. We didn't even talk much. We just walked and breathed and felt our feet on the ground again. Sign number 3, you're constantly comparing your life to others. Let's be honest, most of us scroll a little too much. And at some point, we started noticing that every time someone posted a retirement celebration or photos of a new life abroad, we'd feel a little twitch in our stomach. Not jealousy, just sadness, because we weren't doing it. We were stuck in the same old loop, still waiting for the right moment. One afternoon, we were walking through Old Town Funchal, this charming little street full of colorful, hand-painted doors. Every single door was different, some silly, some artistic, some just beautiful. And Leslie said, you know, everyone's walking through their own door, so why not us? Sign number 4, you feel like you're just going through the motions. Wake up, coffee, bills, emails, dishes, dinner, TV, bed. You ever look back on your week and realize you don't remember anything about it? That was us. Life had a routine, but no rhythm, no joy. On that same trip, we took the cable car up to Mont. As we were riding up, just watching the island unfold below us, Leslie turns and says, why does this feel so big? It's just a view. Then we saw people getting in those crazy wicker sleds, basket cars sliding down the hill on pavement, and we thought, why not? We laughed like we hadn't laughed in years. That moment, it broke the cycle. It reminded us what fun even felt like. Sign number 5, you keep waiting for the things to get easier. We'll travel when the market settles down. We'll slow down once the kids are done. We'll figure it out after. There's always going to be an after. But here's what we found. The right time never shows up. You just have to make space for it. On that trip, we wandered in the gardens of Mont. It was peaceful, unexpected. There were koi ponds and these massive Jurassic-looking ferns. Time slowed down in there, and we realized it's not about fixing everything before you go. Sometimes you go, and then things just start falling into place. Sign number 6, you're surviving, not living. Bills were paid, house was fine, nothing was wrong, but we weren't really living. We were counting pennies, counting days, but we weren't counting moments. One night in downtown Funchal, we sat outside a tiny cafe. Music playing in the street, wine on the table, ocean just over the hill. We laughed, talked about dreams, and realized I couldn't remember last time I had felt that free. That's the difference. Survival keeps the lights on, but living turns them on inside of you. Sign number 7, you feel like you missed your chance. This one hits hard. We've heard it 100 times, from friends, viewers, even strangers we meet. We're too old now. It's too late. I should have done this in my 40s. We said that too, until we walked into this little white church in the middle of town. Quiet, simple, beautiful. We just sat there and took a breath. And I remember whispering to Leslie, we're not done. You're not done either. Our turning point, what changed everything, that trip to Madeira, it didn't magically fix our lives, but it showed us that we weren't stuck. We were just asleep. A new life doesn't have to start with a big decision. Sometimes it starts with a little question. What if we just went? Now we live in a home with a view of the sea. We built a garden. We walk to town. We've got time when we got space. Most of all, we've got peace. Your next step. What can you do even if one of these signs felt familiar? Don't push it aside. Take a weekend. Book a scouting trip. Look at other ways of living, abroad or right in your own country. You don't have to leap. You just have to look. And if you want help, we've got resources for you. You can grab our free Moving Abroad Starter Guide or come up to one of our meetups. No pressure, just possibility. Thanks for spending this time with us. If you're stuck, you're not alone. And you're not too late. We made the change at 60. And you know what we say every time we sit down on that porch and watch the sun go down? We should have done this sooner. And maybe so should you.